Hi, I'm Kevin Ganson. On this video, I will show an inspirational message involving hope against the odds. I'm a brain surgery survivor. A tumor the size of a golf ball has been extracted from my skull in an unexpected emergency surgery. Ophthalmologist looked into my pupil of the eye. She saw that the optic nerve was inflamed and the brain behind it that it was attached to was also inflamed into catastrophic proportions. It was beyond her imagination. So she quickly summoned a neurologist. The neurologist sent me to an MRI that moment. And the MRI results showed that I had a tumor the size of a golf ball and brain tumor mass attached to it the size of a pancake. And it was over both spheres of my brain, the left, right brain. The pancake covered that. And it was in their experience, they were wondering how come I was even walking. It was so massive. We finished the operation. I mean, they finished the operation and just found that the tumor that I had was benign, non-cancerous that means, and that I would go on to live a normal, healthy life after recovery. It was amazing though, from the moment that they told me that I had this tumor, and he says, the doctor says, and I quote him, he says, "My job is to save your life." He said, without surgical removal of this tumor, it is certain mortality for you. And that resonated with me. Even though my cognitive thoughts and mind wasn't completely there with all that brain edema and swelling, I could relate to that when he says that I don't have a choice. You know, if either you get this, it's do or die. So I summons my brother, and he was over, he lives in the same town. He was over in a matter of minutes. And he and I talked privately, and we came to the conclusion after seeing the reports in the MRI that I didn't have any choice. So amazingly enough, I was confident that I was going to have success from the moment I learned that I had to have this thing removed. There was absolutely no fear. I had courage the entire time, knowing that as soon as this inflammation goes down, with the steroid treatment for 3 days, they were going to wheel me into the operation room and cut me open like Frankenstein. I wasn't afraid of anything. I thought. Then about 15 minutes before I was scheduled, I was on a gurney and they were going to roll me in. I suddenly panicked. This is the first time. Yeah, and they quickly relieved that situation with anesthesia. I don't know what they gave me, but I was out. But just prior to that, I had a moment, a God moment, you could say, and I said, I prayed. I said, "Jesus, are you going to be with me during this operation?" And he vividly responded to me, and he says, "Yeah, I'm already here. I'm right by your side now." And that was relaxing and rewarding. So the lights went out, and literally I was out, and I was in then the doctors do their thing. They sustain your life, they take your mind, they take your heartbeat, they do everything. So now my life is totally dependent upon the anesthesiologist's right determination and the people that are monitoring my heartbeat and everything. I'm no longer there. I'm like a vegetable. And then they went and operated. They cut open what they call interior. Well, you might see some of the scars yet. This was only 3 months ago. It cut across here, around the temple, and, excuse me, right here, right above the eyes. Then they took and peeled the skin down over my nose, and they made this final cut. That's why you don't see a scar there today. After surgery, they put it right back, the skin, and they put in a couple metal plates. I have 3 holes, and those holes they had to drill to reduce the inflammation of the brain tissue before they could even operate. So they didn't want to, well, what they did is they made those holes and then they put a steel plate in. I totally trusted them. And as it was, the tumor was benign. I came out feeling like I was 30 years old. And I'm actually 61. It's the best I've felt in my life. And now I'm working 50 hours a week at warehousing. 3 months ago, I was under the knife. 19 days after surgery, we'll have I have a photograph here of me sitting on a Harley, and I'm still committed into the nursing home. But my friends brought it over, and I sat on it, and it was kind of a neat experience to think like, hey, I'm enjoying life all over again. The photographs that you'll see is me with the suture, and my head was sewed back together, and it kind of looks like a softball. You'll see a photograph of me on the bike. You can actually review or view some of the summary of the doctor, the conclusion of what all took place. I'm in this stage now. It's a euphoria. You live after something, you go through something like this here. In my experience was, you live this nonstop euphoria where nothing seems to bother you anymore, because you go like, well, wait. Whatever this is, I don't have to get emotional. I've went through it all already, so I'm going to relax. I hope you guys enjoyed my description of my experience with brain trauma. Thanks for listening.